Good morning to you. I've been looking at your papers that are due today, and I was reading your critical thinking questions, and so I wanted to give you a new video for the class to review a little bit um, what I'd like you to know about children and mental illness, just briefly. I think it's really important that you understand that the process for getting children the help that they need to deal with mental illness is a model for psychosocial rehabilitation. And I would refer you to IDEA, which is the reauthorization of the Disabilities Act of 2002. And you can go online and look it up, and it gives you all the rules and things. The process for children is extremely important, and there are mental illnesses found early in children. Valley Mountain Regional Center often deals with those who have not yet reached the age of 4, at which point that children are put into preschool programs. And Valley Mountain stays with them, but autistic children, as early as at birth, start the process for dealing with such issues. And it's very, very interesting. And for those of you who may not know it, Valley Mountain in Modesto is located right across the street from West Campus, and a place where you might want to do some volunteer work sometime. It's a real good place to get some experience. But what happens is that the schools, beginning in kindergarten and in preschool, but particularly starting with K through 12, are able to write an individual educational plan for children that prescribes for them the treatment and pays for it throughout their school life. Not so much in college. I don't want to get into the adult section here because we're only talking about children. I think you have to understand that the school is the place where you begin, because it's where all children go. And that's what the law allows for. You can be recommended by a parent, by a neighbor, by your doctor, by teachers, counselors, school psychologists, the principal of the school. Whomever can start the process for a student study team on a school campus where a group of professionals, usually starting with the classroom teacher, the parent, a school psychologist, speech therapist, whomever is available, always a school administrator, and if there's a school counselor, usually school counselors. At that time, you listen to what's going on in a child's life and make a determination about whether a child is or is not eligible for special education services. And if they are recommended for it, then paperwork, legal paperwork is signed that specifies that within a certain number of days, the child must be assessed and evaluated. That's done by the school psychologist. And once that paperwork is signed, that is a binding legal document that it must go forward. If a child is not eligible but happens to be someone with an illness like diabetes, cystic fibrosis, other diseases that stay with them that are not going to go away, that ADD, ADHD, those can be recommended for a 504 policy, which also the student study team will start the process for. But for any other types of disabilities, and mental illness certainly is one, then the IEP is the one that you're looking for. Once that school psychologist makes the first assessment, the testing, all of the psychological testing, educational testing is put together, and a report is done, and then an IEP team starts. That's the IEPT. And that, as I say, has to be done in a certain amount of time, and it has to meet at least once a year. It defines very definitely what a child's illness is and how it's going to be taken care of. The good part about that is most parents cannot afford an expensive psychologist, psychiatrist, or private counseling. There may be 6 sessions through somebody's work and health insurance, that kind of stuff. But if you want your child to get the treatment and the help that they need, then it starts right there on the public school campus. And the treatment, whether it's a psychiatrist, psychologist, or whatever, if it's called for within the IEP, then it has to be done, and it is paid for the parent. So it's a vital process. This is very important for you to know. The reason why it looks like a psychosocial rehabilitation project, that's exactly how it should work. It's a team that comes together and looks at the whole child and what are all of the needs that that child has. It could be a learning disability, it could be some sort of problem with just how a child learns, like dyslexia, but it also could strictly be that they are mentally ill in some way, have schizophrenia, early childhood schizophrenia. They could be bipolar, they may have depression, a wide number of mental illness types of things that go on with children. Our Human Services 146 class deals with these issues too, and you might want to take a look at that class. But I wanted to bring this to your attention because if you look at just the process of the student study team that's required, they don't always happen, unfortunately, but that is there where people meet to make the referrals, and then once it's decided that there has to be testing and assessment done and the parent signs the request for it, then it becomes a legal process, and those are legal documents and they are binding. Read IDEA, at least take a look at it if you will, if you have time. It won't take you long. It's easy to find it just by doing a Google search. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention and say, look at how that works. It's ideal. It's exactly what we want to have, exactly what a child needs. And as an adult, we should replicate that process in psychosocial rehabilitation. Not just the cost of it, because that is always included, but just the fact that you find the source that is the best for the person to get them the services they need to be functional. And the goal of special education, whatever you see it as, once you look at all the things that qualify you for a special ed, which mental illness happens to be one of them, once it gets into play and is there, it is legally binding that you receive those services. Very, very important. But you involve all kinds of things. It could be recreational, it could be getting study skills, help for kids, it could be all kinds of things. It could be removing them from the home, it could be sending them to special schools. So please take a look at that, and take a look at it from the standpoint that these are the model that you might want to look at even as you get into the adult world, because the more people that are available for you to reach out to help somebody be functional, the better off we all are. Anyway, some of your answers are just so awesome. I'd like to share them with everybody. I wish we could do that, but even in your discussions, I get all excited about what you have to say. So if you have any questions or you want more information, let me know. Thanks a lot and have a great day.